Alright, for fuck's sake, this is legit my fourth time trying to upload this shit. Alright, this goddamn series. So, last time I left off, I think it was a little bit before the entrance exam. If it wasn't, then I'm just gonna fly through the entrance exam either way, because it's just really gonna go the same, but Deku has full cowling, because it's his second year. So, Deku gets first place this year. We'll say we'll say Todoroki actually didn't go for recommendations this year. And, he got second place. And then, Bakugo got third. He was pissed off about that. And, basically, everyone in Class 1A is still there, but with the addition of Cammy. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. So, I asked you guys last episode of Cheated On if you wanted the person who was in, the three-way to be in the relationship or to be an actual person in the show. And you guys, by an astounding destroyed vote, mostly fucking chose Mirko. So, that's happening. Hey, my boy Deku, he doesn't see color, but hey, Ebony Mamas can get it too. Alright, before you all worry, I'm half black, alright? I'm light skinned. I can say whatever I want, mostly. But, so while I'm not, trying to get myself shut down, so Deku basically, he gets in, he gets a letter. Sorry if I'm trying to rush through this a little bit, since, it's my fourth time doing this shit. You'd honestly get frustrated after your fourth time of doing something, too. But, I'll try to still make it good. So, Deku basically, he gets his letter from UA. They're like, hello, welcome to your Hero Academia again, Deku's like, woohoo, he gets in, he tells his mom, I made it in. He calls Cammy, he's like, I made it in. Then, he looks at the random phone number, he's like, random chick. And he's like, should I text her? Like, basically, like, he's like, should I text her? Low-key, like, he's like, I wonder, like, who the hell was she? Cause like he got up, but it was still like his vision was still blurry. So he doesn't know what she looked like, but he can tell like she had white hair and like white skin, or not white skin, black skin. She was a brown mama. So he was like, all right, so there's not that many black people in Japan. So, who the hell could it be? Like, cause, it's fucking Japan, anime. Literally, Mirko is, like, I think the only black character, other than the fucking Nomu. But, so he's like, who the fuck could it be, Mirko does cross his mind, but he's like, nah, what's the chances of me smashing a pro hero and my girlfriend at the same time, So he throws that to the back of his head. So then Deku just, Deku gets up, he's like, I won't text her. I'll save that for later. Maybe if Cammy's down, we can talk to her again. Try to understand what happened last night, or not last night, but a few weeks ago. Because, what happened a few weeks ago was an anomaly. So, Deku, he wonders, like, what the fuck happened? Because, like, some shit happened. Because, how do I want to make it to where Deku has to start remembering what happened before? Deku has a tattoo. Fuck it. He's tatted, alright? And, we'll say it's a dragon. Why not? Like, on his, back. No. He'll have to be noticeable. It's like a dragon on his, arm. Because, why not? Make it so Deku has to find out what the fuck happened last night. So, I didn't even do this for the last 3 parts. I'm just adding on new shit. But, Deku, he calls up Cammy. He's like, yo, what's up? They talk a bit. And then he's like, did you get in? She's like, yeah, I got in, actually, And they're planning on going out to celebrate, so they're gonna do that. Not drinking again, because Deku came back home with a tattoo. Inko almost, passed out, but luckily she kept her composure somehow. So, Deku, basically, he headed over to Cammy's place. They went out, they had some ice cream just to celebrate. And, after that, it got dark, so they just went home. Nothing happened, you freaking weirdos. But, Deku, basically, he's just chilling out. He's just chilling. And now we go to UA. So this time, Aizawa doesn't have a real need to do the quirk assessment because this is their second year. Yeah, sure, he could do it to see how little they've grown over the summer because nobody did shit during the summer. But, let's see. Yeah, he doesn't do that. But he's like, alright, guys, I'll have a new assistant teacher who's basically going to be here helping me out. Give a warm welcome to, Mirko. Like, he's half asleep, so he's like, yeah, just say hi to Mirko. She walks in, she walks in, she's like, she has like she's like not impressed. And she looks at Deku and she gives like this big grin, and Deku notices this and he's like, alright, maybe I wasn't too far off with my assumptions that it was Mirko. But he's still not fully sure. And she also gives a smile to Cammy, which is doubling his inferences, but he can't jump to conclusions. Because how would you feel as a new teacher if a student was like, hey, were you the chick who I had a three-way with? Like, so Deku's not about to jump to conclusions, but he's gonna keep his eye out. So she's like, she's like, yeah, well, I'm looking at your old papers, and honestly, I'm not impressed with any of you except for, like, a few of you. Basically that happened. She's like, I've seen a few of you around. She looks at Deku and Cammy. She's like, and I've, heard about a few of you. And she looks at Bakugo and Uraka. So, like, Deku's now confused because he's like, alright, I can maybe understand how she saw me or seen me, but how she heard about them. Because, well, actually, they were in the sports festival, so Deku just ignores it, basically. And she's like, well, we're going to be doing heroes versus villains today. And they're all like, all right, So, the teams are Kirishima and Bakugo versus Uraka and Deku. Uraka and Deku are the villains. Kirishima and Bakugo are the heroes, all right? And you didn't hear me wrong. Uraka and Deku are villains. So they're like protecting the bomb, right? And basically Deku's like, all right, like he really doesn't want to talk to Uraka at all, but a grade is a grade. He's not about to let his ex ruin his school life too, so he's like, all right, well, so what's the plan? Like, Bakugo's probably gonna rush, so honestly, I think that I should just head out. You start floating a bunch of objects, and then if someone comes in, just drop them. And Uraka's like, yeah, that's a good plan, but can we talk for a little bit? Deku's like, nah, we gotta focus. So he just runs off. Uraka, she plans on talking to Deku and like apologizing, but you know what that's gonna do. It's gonna do jack. But basically, like, Kirishima, he really doesn't like. He's no longer friends with Bakugo, and like basically Bakugo's like, all right, shitty hair. Here's the plan. He's like, all right, Bakugo, and Bakugo's a bit stunned because he didn't call him Bakubro or anything like that, and he's like, what? Like, basically, what? Kirishima's like, what do you mean, what? Come on, let's just come up with a plan so we can get this over with. Bakugo's, now kind of sad because that was his friend. So he's basically like, all right, I rush the nerd, and then you come in and, you take the hits because you're the defense. Kirishima's like, yeah, sure, whatever, because he really doesn't like Bakugo right now, because he's pissed off that Bakugo would do something like that, because he didn't think Bakugo was that kind of person at all. Like, he knew Bakugo was, like, mean, but he didn't know Bakugo was like this. So, so then Kirishima's like, all right, I'll rush in there, fight him unbreakable, you throw hits, all right? Don't get too greedy with the hits. You need to just make sure that you're protected by me. Because, one of Deku's hits could be, like, fatal. Because he realizes that Deku got way stronger after he beat the shit out of Bakugo. So Bakugo's like, whatever, I've beaten him solo before, I could do it again. But he's like, either way, teaming up will be better. So basically, Bakugo and Kirishima are running up the stairs. Deku's like on like the second to last floor, which is the last floor is where the bomb is. So Bakugo basically, so after that, Bakugo rushes up. He does the explosion shit. He does this again, but he dodges. But Deku dodges this time, and he kicks Bakugo. Bakugo's sent to the wall. He gets out, but he knows like if I get hit like that again, I'm knocked out. So Kirishima, he comes in, he's unbreakable. He swings at Deku. Deku, like, dodges it. And then he goes to, like, punch Kirishima. and then he, like, as he hits Kirishima, he gets blasted by an explosion. So it's basically like, you know, he goes for Bakugo, then Kirishima takes a hit, then there's an explosion, then he goes for Bakugo, then Kirishima. It's like a repetitive process, which Deku's noticing. So this time, whenever, like, Kirishima goes to take the hit, Deku grabs Kirishima, right? And, you know, basically Bakugo, when he's about to, like, throw an explosion over Kirishima's shoulder, Deku pushes Kirishima back, which slams Bakugo into a wall in between Kirishima, which they're both, like, you know, basically Kirishima's harder than the wall. So, then, you know, basically Bakugo is like, shit, like, you know, that hurt, fuck, you know? So it wasn't enough to knock him out, because it was just, you know, Kirishima getting pushed on him, like, pretty hard. So, this time, then Deku just, like, you know, he shoulder checks Kirishima through the wall, which means that Bakugo was also checked through the wall, because, you know, Kirishima was, like, in front of Bakugo. So, you know, they go through the wall. Now Bakugo is, like, a little bit dazed. Kirishima, he's perfectly fine, basically, because Bakugo is his meat shield right now, which is supposed to be the opposite way around. So Bakugo just puts both his hands on Kirishima's shoulder and, you know, goes for a howitzer impact. And, you know, Mirko, like, she's like, stop it, like, you'll kill him. You know, Deku basically, he powers up One for All, like, a little bit more in his right fist, but, you know, it's still going through his whole body. So he does, like, we'll say a 27% smash. And, you know, when he shoots a howitzer impact, it shoots out, but it's completely nullified by the smash. And, like, then, like, Kirishima and Bakugo are pushed through, like, 3 walls. And Kirishima was knocked out of Unbreakable, and Bakugo was just knocked out. So then Deku just, like, runs in front of Kirishima and just kicks him in the head, which he's still hardened. He's may not be an Unbreakable, but he's still hardened. So Kirishima goes, like, through another wall. He's still, like, he's trying to keep into, you know, like, keep awake, basically. But then Deku just, like, Kirishima goes for a punch. Then Deku puts him into, like, a submission hold. And he's like, all right, give up, you know. And then Kirishima's like, no way, dude. That's not manly. And he's like, but it isn't manly to get your arm broken either. Which, you know, he's pushing his arm in a way that it's going to break if he doesn't give up. He's like, all right, fine, I give, you know. So Bakugo's knocked out and Kirishima gave up. So, you know, villain team wins. And, like, you know, Cammy runs up to Deku. She's like, good job, you know. She hugs him. Basically, Uraraka, she's, you know, gritting her teeth. And, Alright, like I said, Uraraka's gritting her teeth. She's like, wow, that damn, you know, illusion bitch, I swear, I'll fucking kick her ass, blah, blah, blah. This is that and the third, but, you know, either way, that's not gonna help her get Deku back. Nothing will. So Deku basically, like, he's like, alright, well, that was pretty cool. Kirishima's like, bro, Mito, bro, how'd you learn, like, those moves, basically? He's like, oh, well, I actually trained a little bit in martial arts. I kind of gave up on it after my quirk activated. But I just realized that, you know, I should start using that more. So, basically, Deku just went into All Might fighting style, and then he realized, wait, I went to karate, which is better than All Might fighting style. So, that's his shoot style now. So, you know, he's like, that's amazing, Mito, bro, you know. So, they're just talking. They're chilling out. Kirishima, he's awake because he gave up, but, like, his shoulder hurts a little bit, but that's about it. And then Bakugo, he's knocked out. Uraraka, she's salty. That's about it. Like, you know, she's so salty. If you threw her into a lake, it would turn into an ocean. If any of you get that reference, then, you know, you're a real one. If you don't, then it's cool. It's cool. But, so Deku, basically, he's just like, alright, well, I'm gonna head out. And, Mirko's like, can I actually talk to you and, Cammy before, you head out? You know, Deku's like, sure. And then Cammy's like, yeah, definitely. So, everyone's leaving. Basically, Deku's still waiting. And, you know, he goes to the teacher's lounge. You know, nobody's there except for Mirko. Mirko's talking to them. She's like, hey, how are you two doing? Deku's like, alright, well, I need to ask you something. And she's like, yo, what's up? Shoot. And he's like, were you the one from, like, a few weeks ago? Because my everything's a bit hazy. Like, I still don't remember everything fully. You know, she laughs. She's like, yeah, that was me. And then Deku's like, oh, okay, that helps me a lot. He's like, so what the hell happened? Like, he's like, can you explain? And like, how the hell did I get this? And like, he pulls up his sleeve. It's the dragon tattoo. You know, she's like, to be honest, that part, I met you with that, alright? And Deku's like, you met me with that? Like, you know, he's like, alright, well, I guess I'm gonna have to look for new ways to find the rest of that. And he's like, alright, can you explain to me what happened after I met you? And then she was like, alright, well, basically, after I had, you know, got yelled at by my boss and I was pissed, so I headed somewhere and I was heading to, like, the bar. Then I met you guys on the way, right? And you saw how glum I was, and, you know, you basically asked me, like, what the hell was going on with me. And then, you know, I was slightly pissed because, you know, you were drunk and talking shit. So I was like, who the hell do you think you're talking to, you know? He was like, and then you calmed down a lot. You were like, yeah, sorry, I'm drunk, basically. You know, I was surprised that, you know, a drunk guy could calm down like that. And then you talked to me for a bit. I told you my issues. And then, you know, you told me yours, which I was pissed off about. How, you know, someone could cheat on their own boyfriend. And then we hanged out, we went some places, and then one thing led to another. And we, you know, woke up to all of each other in each other's bed, basically. Deku's like, okay, well, that explains at least a small percentage. Deku still has to understand where the fuck he got his tattoo from. So, you know, Deku, he's just like, alright, well, damn. So, what do you want to do about, you know, this? Do you want to just not talk about it? Do you want it to be something? And, you know, Mirko basically, she's like, well, at first I didn't really want it to be something, but then, you know, I started thinking about, you know, that night more and more, because, you know, it was an experience, let's just say. So basically, you know, Deku's like, oh really now, you know. So basically they're talking, and, you know, Cammy's there too, so she's like, basically Deku's like, so how do you feel about this? And, you know, Cammy's like, well, honestly, I'm down, like, I don't really care. she's like, it really doesn't, like, as long as you're still not gonna, like, leave me or anything, basically. Honestly, I'm much happier with you than I was with Bakugo. And Deku's happy to hear that. So Deku's just like, yeah, of course, I'm not gonna, you know, leave you or cheat on you or anything like that. I wouldn't want to do that. So, you know, because Deku absolutely hates cheaters now because of that one experience. So basically, after that, Deku, he's like, you know what? Let's make this work somehow. So Mirko's happy to hear that because, you know, she was a bit scared to say it. And she's not gonna lie, even though she's the hero without fear, she was nervous to say that. Because how would you feel if, you know, the random person that you had a three-way with was all like, can I join your relationship? So she was happy to hear that Deku was like okay with her joining the relationship, and so was Cammy. So he was like, how about this? Since I don't really know you that well, since I don't remember you that well, how about we, you know, all go out on a date and have fun? I mean, you know, she's like, that would actually be a lot of fun, you know. She's like, that would be a lot of fun. Kimmy's like, I'm in, you know, basically stuff like that. Then after that, Cammy, she's like, all right, I'm gonna head home and then start changing and stuff like that. Deku's like, yeah, same here. So basically, Mirko, she changes into something casual. So does Cammy. So Deku basically kind of looks like this, but, you know, without the UA tie and with, like, a different shirt. And this is what Mirko looks like. Online, I swear, amazing. This was, like, the only photo online that I could get that wouldn't, you know, get my channel thrown out of the window. And this is what, you know, what's it called, Cammy looks like. And, you know, Deku, you know, he walks up to them too, because they're waiting, basically. And he's like, oh, you two look like, you know, stunning. He's talking about how beautiful they are. You know, they're like, thank you, stuff like that. So they go out, they have fun at the fair, basically. Deku wins them both prizes, because, you know, he loves both of them. Well, right now he's trying to see where he's at with, you know, Mirko, but, you know, he does love Cammy. You know, and slowly, like, something's building up there with Mirko. So then, you know, they're having fun, they're eating. Then after that, they go out, they eat some nice dinner. Deku pays, because I'm never going to have a Deku that doesn't pay. Like I'll do a what if Deku was poor and he'll still be paying for, you know, girls' meals, cause he is not about that shit, you know. Cause it's not symmetry, it's called civilry. Ha 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 ha. God, that was the simplest thing to say ever. But after, you know, after Deku has the meal with them, he's heading back to the dorms with Cammy, because, you know, she goes to the dorms too. And Mirko's walking with them because it's past curfew, but since she's a teacher, technically, it's fine. So, you know, she's walking with them, plus she has her own room in the dorms as well. Just like Aizawa has one, she has her own. Like, Aizawa basically watches the girls' dorms, or the boys' dorms, while Mirko watches the girls' dorms. So, you know, he walks into his dorm, he's like, well, that was a lot of fun, you know. And then, like, he's about to close the door when, you know, the door gets stopped. And, you know, he's like, ah, damn it. He's like, you know, we have school tomorrow. Like, that's what he says. And, you know, they're like, yeah, but I don't remember saying I cared. And, you know, basically Mirko says the same thing. And Deku's like, alright, we're doing this. So, yeah, they do that. You know what they do. If you don't know what they do, you're pure. But if you do know what they did, good for you. But I'm not going into detail. Not until, you know, 400 subscribers. And I've said this, and now you guys are gonna be like, yeah, he's gonna get into detail within a week. Like, oh, like, no, don't be like that. But yeah. So Deku basically he smashed. I'm not even gonna lie to you. He showed them his Detroit and Delaware smashes, and it was a experience. like Mirko said, but this time, you know, they'll remember it. So Deku's still sleeping, and it's like, what? It's at the beginning of the school day, but they didn't go to sleep until like 5, because they got home by 12, and, you know, they were up and at it until 5, which, you know, Small Knight was tired, but but he does have a rubber, because he's not dumb. All right, he's not trying to be out here being an 18-year-old father, since he's in UA second year, and UA's a college in this. So, basically, after that, Mirko, Deku doesn't get up, Mirko doesn't get up, Cammy doesn't get up, they're all too tired, and then Kirishima, he's walking to school, right, and everyone walks to school together, but, they notice that Deku and Cammy haven't gotten up yet, and Aizawa, he's in the office, he's waiting for Mirko, he's like, where the hell is she at? Alright, like, you know, he's like, alright, then, I guess I'll just wait. And, you know, he's just gonna do the work alone. He thinks Mirko ditched for the day or something, which, you know, he's not mad about. So, basically, Kirishima, he's like, alright, I'm gonna go knock on, you know, Midoriya Bro's room, right? Mito Bro's room. So he heads over, you know, Mina's like, I'm gonna join you, you know, because she thinks that Cammy's in there, so she's like, tea. She's like, we're about to spill some tea, basically. It's about to get hot in here. So she runs over, and, you know, we'll say that Ida joins them just to make sure that they don't be late. So they all go, they knock on Deku's door. He's like, wait, give me 5 minutes, and then we can go for round like 15. And, you know, basically, like, they're like, round 15? Like, what the fuck does he mean, round 15? So Kirishima's like, Mito, bro, you're about to miss class, man. We have to hurry. You know, Ida's like, yes, Midoriya, we have to hurry up for class. And, you know, Mina did go to Cammy's room, but Cammy wasn't there, so she ran over. She's like, Cammy's not in her room. Kirishima, he's like, oh, you know, he thinks that Cammy's in there. Little does he know. So he's like, alright, I'm about to bust in there. No, he hardens up. Ida's like, do not do this, you know, blah, 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 blah. But, like, you know, Mina's like, come on. And, you know, basically, Kirishima, he's about to bust through. Mina's like, wait, I'll use acid to get in. You know, so she, like, acids the lock side. So she, like, forcefully opens it. Actually, no, she doesn't even use acid. You know, if you use a credit card or, like, something flat, like a DVD or a disc, you can basically open the side of a door. If you don't know that, well, I guess I'm teaching you bad stuff. But, yeah, if you use a credit card to, like, the side of a door where, like, the doorknob thing is, then you can open the door. So she does that, you know, she opens the door, because he didn't use a top lock, because why would he use a top lock in a dorm? So he basically, you know, they open the door, they peek in, they see, like, 3 lumps in the bed. They're like, alright, I guess maybe, like, they moved the pillows while they did it or some shit. So, you know, Kirishima's like, wake up, Mito, bro, and, you know, Deku, he gets up, he's like, fuck, what time is it? And they tell him, like, you know, it's, like, we'll say that class starts at 8 for them, because why not? And then it's 7:40, or not 7:40, we'll say 7:30, just to give them time. So Deku, he's like, shit, you know, he basically shakes the person on his left, he's like, get up, wake up, you know. Cammy, she's like, alright. And she gets up, you know, Mina's laughing now, she's like, I fucking knew it, you know, blah, 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 blah. And then Deku, he doesn't care at this point, he's still tired. So he puts his hand on the right, and he starts shaking. And, like, they're like, what are you doing? He's like, get up, you know? She's like, no, you know? Like, he's like, I didn't ask. And then she's like, fine, you know? Freaking hits him with, like, her ear. And then Deku's like, fuck, that hurt, you know? That was a wake-up call and a half, so he realized what he did, and he's like, shit. So Mirko, she gets up, she's like, what time is it? Deku's like, 7:30. She's like, shit, what? You know, basically, Deku's like, can you guys get out of here? You know, Kirishima, he's laughing his ass off. Mina's like, and she just, you know, immediately snaps a photo and runs off. And then Ida's like, this is not good, you know, you are student, blah, 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 blah. Deku's like, Ida, I will flick you out of this room, try me. You know, Ida gets out, because he's not trying to get flicked in the middle of the morning. So he closes the door. That doesn't break the door, by the way. It just opens it. So, you know, he closes the door. And then after that, Deku just gets up. He's like, alright, time to change. You know, he changes into his uniform after, you know, he takes a shower and stuff like that. And, you know, to save time, they gotta hurry. There's no time to wait turns. So, you know, they're just all at the same time taking a shower. And it's not awkward, because they've seen every inch of each other. Literally. But I hate myself. So, then, you know, Deku basically, he's like, alright, I'm gonna brush my teeth. I have, like, a few extra toothbrushes in case, like, I leave, or in case, like, someone needs them. So, you know, they're like, damn, you just think of everything, don't you? And he's like, yeah, it's almost like plot convenience. You know, he's brushing his teeth, they're brushing their teeth. You know, basically Deku's like, alright, well, I'm gonna head out since I already have my uniform. They're like, yeah, but our clothes are dirty. Basically, you know why they're dirty. But basically Deku's like, alright, just, how are you guys gonna get to your rooms? You know, they both grab one of Deku's sweatshirts. Cammy grabs, you know, an All Might sweatshirt, you know. Mirko grabs a green sweatshirt, or not sweatshirt, but, sweater. And, you know, they just both grab shorts, and he's like, I'm gonna need those back after a while. And they're like, yeah, you're gonna definitely get them back. He's not getting them back. But, so they both head off to their rooms, right? And, you know, a few people see them moving from the boys' room to the, you know, girls' dorm. And, you know, basically, like, you know, Momo's like, I can maybe understand why Cammy's in, you know, in the boys' dorm, but why was Miss Mirko there? You know? Mina's there, like, you know, she's squealing. You know, everybody's like, Mina, what's up? And then Mina just shows them the photo of, you know, Cammy, Mirko, and, you know, Deku all in a bed at the same time. And they're like, like, you know, it spread like wildfire. It was crazy, like, that. And then the whole school knows about it. So, you know, Deku eventually, he cleans, he gets over. He's so tired in class, like, as I was giving his lectures and Deku sleep, right? And then, like, you know, Mirko, like, Cammy gets there because, we'll say that her dorm, like, no, Mirko gets there first, because her dorm is on the first floor, and then Cammy's is on the second floor. So, Mirko, she gets there, she's like, hey, yo, sorry. And then, like, as I was like, what took you so long? He was like, well, she was like, I had a bit of a midnight workout, and I overslept. And Aizawa understands this, because in hero terms, I did it with someone. We'll just say, in hero terms, I had sex. Like, Like, I thought was like, good for you. And then he's like, did you have a workout partner? He's like, and she's like, two actually. And, I thought he's like, oh, okay. Like, he's like, well, good for you, I guess. And then, Mirko's like, Mirko's like, yeah, they're very good students. Aizawa looks at her, he's like, wait, student? Like, he's like, students? And he's like, yeah. And then, she's like, yeah. And then Aizawa was like, and, he just sees Deku, like, half asleep. Like, like, Deku's like, his head is up, and, like, his head will drop, and he'll like, jump back up. He's like, yeah. He's like, I need coffee. Like, he's just too tired. And then Cammy runs in. Her knees are still wobbling. I'm not even gonna lie. Her knees are still shaky. And, Aizawa notices this, so he's adding 1 + 2 = fish. But he's like, okay, so I think I get the gist of what happened. Basically he's like, so are you all right? Mirko's like, yeah, I'm just fine. And then he's like, all right, can you grab me those over there? She sees that her walking is also stumbly. So Aizawa was like, okay, maybe Cammy I would understand. But Mirko, because, Mirko fit. Like, I ain't even front with you. Look at that. Mirko fit, all right? But, yeah, that was for the thumbnail. Don't worry. I'm not weird. I promise, maybe. But, so basically, at this point, Aizawa was like, damn, I didn't know Midoriya was like that. But, basically, everyone else in class basically knows, and, at this point, Nezu found out because someone was looking on their phone, and, the teacher took it and just saw that. Nezu figured it out, like, heard about it, and he's like, well, I mean, there's nothing in the rules student handbook that says you can't do that. Like, Midnight's like, there isn't? Like, Nezu's like, as long as you're in a relationship, basically, like, Midnight's like, shit, that's what Midnight's thoughts are right now, but he's like, alright, well, I'm gonna call them up. And then, like, Mirko, Izuku, Midoriya, and Cammy, whatever the hell your last name is, please report to the front office, And then, like, Bakugo's like, ha, that loser's in trouble, because he hasn't seen the photos yet, because no one's talking to Bakugo. Why the fuck would you talk to Bakugo after what he did? Nor, Uraka. So Deku's like, alright, so he heads over to Nezu's office. Nezu's like, please sit down, all of you, and then, he sits down. He's like, so, we have photos suggesting that you all did, sexual actions in, the school. Basically, and, Mirko did explain that, it's okay as long as they're in a relationship, because that is school policies. And, Deku was just like, yeah, it's true. Like, Nezu was surprised about this, because, like, he thought, Midoriya would have tried to deny it. So he's like, okay, well, there was 3 of you in there, and, in order for the school policies to not reprimand you, you have to be in a relationship. So, what's going on? He's like, yeah, we're in a relationship. You're like, okay, who? He's like, all of us, And Nezu's confused. He's like, basically Deku explains the whole story of what happened in the beginning. So Nezu's like, oh, okay, I guess. He's like, I see, I guess. And, Mirko does explain that it was an experience. But, yeah, so they're like, oh, well, sorry, you're excused. Midnight's like, Mirko. Like, she's like, Mirko, we need to talk. And, Mirko's like, alright, so she goes over to the side, and, she likes talking to Mirko. Alright, she's like, woman to woman, alright? Woman to woman. How big was it? Like, she was just like, girl to girl. How big was it? Mirko, she's like, she walks away, and she looks back at, Midnight and says, 14. And then she walks away. And then Midnight, her eyes widen, she's like 14? Like a horse, my nigga? I stole that from another person as well. I'm an awful human being. But, basically that happened. That whole interaction happened. Because you think Midnight wouldn't want to hear that? You know, Midnight for a second wanted to be on that shit, but Mirko's like, no. Yeah, 3 is the couple, 3 is the trio, 4 is the crowd. And then, Midnight's like, oh man, swiper, no swiping. But yeah, don't even say add Midnight, because that's not happening. I'm not making a harem. No, I refuse, alright? I refuse. Daga kotoaru, if you've watched JoJo. So, right now, they're heading towards the USJ. Remember, none of the villains from last year, because it's their second year now, none of the villains ever attacked. They only will attack this year. Except for the Stain, the Stain incident. The Stain incident still happens. So, basically, Deku, they're like, we're going back to the USJ, we added a few new features, blah, 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 this and that, Everybody's like, oh, shit, they're excited. Deku, he's pretty excited too, because, they're going to the USJ. He doesn't show it, though, because he's mellowed out now. I've had a 3-way, Deku. If you can even be called that. But, basically, and, remember what happened to Baki the Grappler, basically? When he smashed? But since Deku did it with 2, that gives him a double boost, alright? I'm bullshitting right now, but it's about to happen, alright? So Deku basically, one for all users are like, alright, he's lost his V card, that gives him a double boost, basically. I know, you guys are gonna be like, that's so bullshit, you shouldn't do that, yada yada yada. I don't care, I'm going by Baki the Grappler logic right now, alright? And he smashed and he got stronger, so yeah. So right now, Deku can use 50%, because why the fuck not? Who the fuck's gonna stop me from making that happen? This is my what if. Ha! I love it. I love using XI logic. This is my what if. So, Deku will have 50%. It's gonna be hard to use. I'm not gonna just go crazy and, let him use 50% like dumb off bat. But he can use 30 pretty easily. He can use 45 and, his arms feel a little bit numb afterwards. But, using 50 makes his arms hurt while he's doing it. But the more he does it, the more it'll be easier to handle. And the more one for all that he'll slowly be able to handle. So that's what I'm basically making it, like something he gets used to. Like, it's like he adapts to it slowly. So, they get to the USJ. Deku can feel that one for all is, like he's stronger with one for all for some reason. He basically, while Cammy is, talking to him, he's like, yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna meditate real quick. Because it's the second year, so we'll say that he knows how to talk to the former users of one for all. So he meditates, and, he sees all of them, having the biggest fucking grin ever. And Deku's like, what? And he's like, all the male, one for all users are, patting him on the back. He's like, I'm so proud that you're the 9th user. They're Deku's confused. He's like, don't act all surprised, man. Basically, so Deku's like, oh, it was about that. You see how monotone this guy is, bro. Basically, Nana Shimura, she's like, all right, that's enough. Everyone, chill out. All right. She's like, well, she explains that apparently because he smashed 2 at the same time, one for all has some all the male users of one for all have given him extra boosts, and she's basically like, all right, I'm all right with you doing that, but just if you break their hearts, I'll kick your ass, kid. And he's like, I got you. I mean, he's like, I got you. All right. Which technically his one for all is already stronger than Nana's 100%, since he can already go 50%. But All Might's, we'll say that his 75% is All Might's 100% prime. So right now he's equal to All Might. We'll say, actually, would Nana Shimura be stronger than weakened All Might? We'll say that Nana is weaker than weakened All Might. So his 50% is stronger than Nana Shimura, but still weaker than weakened All Might. 60% is no, because 500 mighty blows beat the Nomu, and he said he could do that in 5 in his prime. So yeah, 75 is All Might's prime, 50 is All Might's current, and we'll say that 45 is Nana Shimura. It was a huge difference. But since it was a huge difference, fuck. Okay, One for All is confusing. So okay, Deku, All Might Prime, Max, 60% One for All. Nana Shimura, 40% One for All, and then what's it called? And All Might Current is 50%. So Nana is 40% maxed out. Weak Might is what's it called? 50%, and then Prime Might is like 60%. And Deku's 100% is way better than all of them because, he's stronger than All Might is in his base form. So, well, because, it's a stockpile quirk and Deku had more energy. My, bullshit excuses call for bullshit stuff. So, Deku basically, he's on the bus. He spoke to the One for All users and, he's laughing about it too now because he didn't, he's going to tell All Might about this, and All Might's going to just, spit out blood, because what else is All Might going to do? Like, no, young Midoriya, don't smash two at the same... No, All Might would be like my son. But, don't worry, Deku's dad is not All Might in this. That's another what if. But, let me stop teasing you guys. So, Deku, he's like, he's basically... What is Deku doing right now? So they get to the USJ. Let me stop stalling. They get to the USJ. Blah, blah, blah. This is the USJ. We have new features now. They're explaining. And, Kirishima's like, whoa, fake villains? That's awesome. Then, then Aizawa's like, they're not fake villains. And Aizawa jumps in for the fight, Mirko's also there, so she also goes in for the fight. And 13's protecting the kids again, well, not really again, because they didn't go through this before. So, basically, Deku breaks down the door. He's like, Ida, go, have fun, Ida runs off to get All Might, because All Might's still, weak Might, but he's not weak Might. Like, he can buff up, but, it's nothing crazy. So Deku, he basically, he's as strong as weak Might right now, if he goes 50%, which is going to hurt his body a little bit. So Deku, he's about to go in and help, but Kurogiri teleports them all. Basically, Deku does the same shit with Froppy and Mineta. Cammy is with Momo and Jiro. So Cammy's still fighting over there when Deku gets to the, middle. And he sees that, the Nomu is, fighting Aizawa and Mirko. And, the Nomu is doing, good damage, but not as good as, he did in the canon. So he's not beating them to a bloody pulp, but, they're definitely bleeding and scarred. So, Deku's pissed now because, Mirko's getting hurt. So Shigaraki goes for Mina, but, since Deku is as fast as All Might right now, he basically just immediately punches Shigaraki with Shigaraki sent flying. Nomu catches him. And then Deku's like, oh, so he has to protect that guy. So Deku goes for the punch on Shigaraki again. Nomu, guards him. And Deku just goes to fight the Nomu. And now, they're throwing good hands. It's like Mudas versus Auras. Basically Star Platinum versus the world. So that's what's happening. And, everybody's surprised that, Deku's this fucking strong. Because, the Nomu was beating the shit out of everyone. So Aizawa just erases the quirk, and Deku starts throwing in good hands with the Nomu. The Nomu is, not regenerating because Aizawa's erasing the quirk. And every time he blinks, he immediately starts again. So the Nomu will, Aizawa will blink, the Nomu regenerates, but Deku breaks what he already regenerated. So at this point, Deku just, knees him in the face, basically. And he's like, you can't beat that thing. It was made to kill All Might. Deku hears this, and, he's like, alright, well then, I guess I'm just gonna use this. And, he pulls out Black Whip, but he turns it into a gauntlet, because he has Black Whip. It's been 2 years. So, he starts, using, Black Gauntlet, and, he's beating the shit out of the Nomu. Nomu has no chance. At this point, the Nomu's in the ground, and, Shigaraki goes for him. Mirko kicks Shigaraki. But, Deku is hurt. Don't get me wrong. It sounds like Deku is beating the shit out of Nomu. But Deku is hurt, alright? So he hits that Nomu with that final 100% smash, which does break his arm, but the Nomu gets sent flying out of the USJ since he's actually strong in this one. Which doesn't make sense. When Deku throws a 100% smash at the Nomu in canon, and it doesn't go flying, I don't understand this. But, Deku basically, he threw a 100% smash, and, the Nomu just got sent flying, and Deku's arm was broken. And like, Shigaraki tried to rush him, but he again got grabbed by capture tape. And after that, or not capture tape, capture scarf that Aizawa has, and he's like, I'm about to get you. And then like Kurogiri goes for Shigaraki. Mirko grabs him. He's like, you're not going anywhere, basically. And, basically, Bakugo, with all of his genius, is like, they need my help. So he runs in. He throws like a big ass explosion towards the villains. And, basically, this sends enough of a smoke screen for Mirko to let go of Kurogiri and for Aizawa to blink, which means like he decays the scarf. And then basically teleports out of there. And, everyone's looking at Bakugo, and Deku's like, you fucking idiot. That's like, he literally screams it out, you fucking idiot. And then Bakugo's like, what the fuck did you call me? He's like, you literally let the villains get away. Oh my god, like, I've never run into such an idiot in my life. Like, how the fuck did I not know that you were this much of an idiot as a child? He's like cursing out Bakugo. Like, his arm is broken. So he's like, I broke my fucking arm for this shit. Bakugo's like, it's not like it's your first time breaking your arm for nothing. He's like, yeah, well, this time it was all your fault. And like, he's about to like beat the shit out of Bakugo again. And he's like, ooh, I swear to God, he's like, I swear to God, I'm about to do you like I did all those weeks ago. Bakugo's like, bet. As he says bet, gets kicked across the fucking field. As I was like, all right. As much as I would like to see Bakugo get his ass kicked, well, like, it's not gonna help anything. All Might then busts in. He's like, I am here. And then he sees that Deku's pissed. Bakugo in a fucking cratered wall. And he's like, not this shit again. He's like, young Midoriya, why did you do it this time? And, he explains that, Bakugo let the villains get away. All Might's, like, pissed at Bakugo now because, like, those guys can kill actual people. Like, they're actually gonna probably kill some people because of this. So, Bakugo's reprimanded. He's like, he gets a week suspension. So, basically after that, Deku, like, passes out because the only thing keeping him up was adrenaline. So he passes out. Mirko and, Cammy run up to him. They're like, Izuku, like, basically, they're worried. So Deku wakes up. He's in the infirmary. He's like, what the fuck happened? So he looks around. He's like, okay, I'm in the infirmary. And, he feels like two things on, like, his knees. So he looks like, he sees Mirko, like sleeping on his, like, lap, basically. But, she's sitting down, like, on a chair, but, like, her hands, like, how you sleep in class? Because we all sleep in class. Basically like that. And, Cammy's doing the same thing. So he wakes him up. He's like, wake up. I'm the one who was hurt. Wake up, And they wake up. And Deku's like, yo, what happened? And they tackle him immediately, which hurts a lot. But, Deku powers through it because he's a champ. He's like, all right, well, as much as I love hugging you two, this hurts a lot. So, they let go of him. They basically pull his cheek. Like, Mirko, like, grabs him by the cheek and, starts pinching his cheeks. And, Cammy grabs his other ear, and they're like, you freaking idiot, you could have gotten yourself killed. Why did you have to do that? Blah, 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 blah. And Deku's like, but we won, though. Like, he's like, but we won, though, so why you mad? And they're like, that's not the point, idiot. They're just, like, basically, like, they're talking now. And Deku's like, either way, I'm fine. I'll be good in, like, a day or two. And, he's like, how about we just go to bed? It's late. So they're like, all right, they're about to, like, go to sleep, like, laying down, like, how they did before. He's like, no, that's how you get back problems. Come here. They basically lay down, like, to his sides. And he sleeps. And he's like, I'm happy I met you, too. And, I'll leave that off there. Hopefully I have audio this time. If not, I'm gonna cry. And you're not getting a second upload today. But if so, then I hope you enjoyed this upload. And peace.